My name is Tomasz Juranek. I'm a solution architect at SoftServe, and I am also Sitecore MVP for this year. And I will talk today about augmented reality with Sitecore Commerce. So this is the agenda for today. So we will cover the topic in overall. What is the augmented reality? I will show you also a demo application which I prepared last year. We will talk about how this application works, how it connects with Sitecore, and we will also check the source code, both the client and the API. We will talk about some limitation of this technology and maybe something for the future. Okay, so first, what is the augmented reality? So this is some very nice sentence. I took it from Wikipedia. So augmented reality is the interactive experience of the real-world environment where the object that resides in the real world are where the objects actually from the virtual objects are augmented to this world, yeah, and the augmented is the key word actually here. So it shouldn't be confused with virtual reality, yeah, because virtual reality is something different. Yeah? Virtual reality is some you create virtual world. Yeah? In augmented reality, you augment some fake objects into real world. Yeah, and this is actually the sample of the most popular augmented reality application. If you have kids, you know what this application is. Yeah, but augmented reality doesn't allow only to catch Pokemons. So this is actually the demo from my application. Yeah, it looks like that. I will show you this right now. So yeah, first let me show you the object detection. I will cover the rest of the application later. So for example, I have sample object here, and you can see, you can see that something appears above this elephant, yeah. And when I tap on it, yeah, I need to accept my fake certificate. Okay. Oh yeah, this button. Yeah, so it will open this product page on the Sitecore Commerce. Yeah. So yeah, it's opening. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So this was a quick one. So what you just saw was the application which used the device camera to scan the environment, and it does it in 60 frames per second, and this is actually a constraint for us, which I will cover later, and it recognizes shapes. Yeah, so it finds the shapes of the objects, but for example, and compare it with the pattern. Yeah, but for example, it doesn't recognize the colors. Yeah? But I will cover the limitation later also. So next we display this virtual layer above the object with some data fetched from e-commerce, and this was fetched on the fly, actually. And also the layer was interactive because I was able to tap on this layer and it opened this product page on e-commerce. Yeah, and this is basically how the product how this is how to generate this product scans. So these are those patterns which this application use to find the objects in the world. So this is actually those are the screens from the application which was provided by Apple. It's open source. You can just download it and install it on the device. Yeah. Next, when I have the scan, I store this scan in Sitecore media library because this is just a file. Yeah? And for the simplicity, I connect this file with the product from e-commerce by the product identifier. So this was I done this way because I was lazy. But when I presented this for the first time in other Sitecore user group, they told me that it's pretty simple actually to store additional file in the e-commerce. Yeah, so I thought that this is easy only for images, but also for the PDF files for files like this, it's also pretty easy. Yeah, but I didn't do it because I'm too lazy. Yeah, so yeah, and this is one of this constraint which I talk about. So because this application scans the world in 60 frames per second, and you have object file somewhere, so it cannot work like that it take this object on the fly. Yeah? It has to be downloaded to the device. Yeah, because 60 frames per second it's too fast. Yeah, to connect to the remote server. Yeah. Okay, and next I have this. I created a pretty simple API in Sitecore Commerce to handle this application. So this is just simple endpoint. It as an input parameter there is a catalog ID. So because I don't want to download the whole catalog from my e-commerce, because of course I started as everyone from the Habitat. Yeah. So there is a lot of products. Yeah, so I didn't want all of them. I just wanted the products which has my augmented reality patterns. So I just limited it to a category of the products. Yeah, and for this given category ID, this API just returns me the product ID and the path in Sitecore media library to the scan file. And there is a second API, which for the product for the given product ID, it returns all the information about this product. Yeah, so price, availability, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So I will show you this. Yeah. So let's start from scanning an object. Yeah. So we can start. Yeah, this is this application from Apple. Yeah. So we can find some object. I hope it will work. Let's okay. And we can actually, play with it. Yeah. Scan, and this application start to scan this object. Yeah. So basically, I need to go around this object, so it can be recognized from all the angles. Yeah. But for this demo, maybe I will not do this. I will just use this angle, because I will look from this angle only. Yeah. So let's. I hope it will work. Yeah. The scan is not complete because I didn't go around. Yeah. So do you want to come? Do you want to go back? Ah. Yes. Okay. Finish. So I need to press cancel, I guess. Okay, and I can test if it's it finds this object. So I will send this object to my computer. Then, okay, so I can close this, and I will upload this file to Sitecore. Yeah. So yeah, on Sitecore user group you have to wait for 2 hours to see the Sitecore. Yeah, it's actually the first time today. Okay, so let's go to Nitro library. I created some folder with this AR maps, and I will create another folder. I will call it like that. This is this workaround which I talk about. Yeah, so I connect the scans by the object ID, by the product ID. So yeah, I will create a product with ID 444. Yeah, and this will connect the scan file with the product. And yeah, upload files. It should be somewhere. I hope it's this one. Yeah. And upload. Yeah, and we need to also publish this file. Okay, and we have the file, so we just need to create a product in Sitecore Commerce. Yeah. So let's go to here, to my catalog, yeah, and here are my categories, yeah, and this is the category I mentioned at the beginning. Yeah. So I create a new category called AR scans, and this I have some sample products here. Yeah, so let's create another one. We need 444, the name, display name, description, all the stuff. Okay, we have the product. So let's also add some price to this. Here, I think, I don't know, $50, whatever. And let's add also an image. I hope it will find the image. Yeah, I have the image. And we need, I think we have it all, yeah. Version. Okay. Okay. And let's check this API. Still have only 2, so I messed something. Okay, I know. I need to publish this here. Okay, I have it here, so let's check. Yeah, so I have this is this API, so I have new product here, and we can also check the properties of this product. Yeah, this is my new product. Yeah, so we can actually check this application again. Okay, you can see it. So yeah, as you can see, when the application started to download the products, so it basically called this API, the first one, and downloads all the application scans to the local storage of this application. Yeah, so we can check if our scan works. Yeah, so you can see it works. You cannot see it. Sorry. Yeah, you can see it works. It display this layer, and I can actually move somewhere, and it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so when I tap on this, yeah, it just opened the commerce with this product. Okay. Yeah. In this application, there are also some settings like the endpoint for my my commerce instance. There is also this catalog ID which I used. Yeah, so you can configure it in this application. Yeah. Yeah, and we can go to the source code. Yeah, the screen is super small, but so these are those two endpoints. Yeah, first one is get product scans. Yeah, it takes the current catalog item ID. It's pretty simple. Yeah, I wish I could write controller like that in every project. Yeah, so just call some service layer and return as JSON. Yeah? And the same for the second one. Yeah? For the product ID, call some layer below and extract the product and return as JSON. And actually, the layer below is a little bit more complicated. So I didn't wrote all the code here. I'm not as smart. I just decompiled the SXA for e-commerce and just took this catalog repository class and just inherit from it and replace the methods which I was interested in. Yeah. So for example, this one, it takes the products from the catalog, and at the end, here, yeah, it returns the product ID and this augmented reality scan. Yeah, so, and this method is actually also pretty simple. It just takes the items from media library, and the path to this media library is also configurable. Yeah, so I can, yeah, this is the configuration for this path. Yeah, so I can take it. It just takes all the media library items under this path. Yeah.
Sorry, but did you do your own plugin in Commerce?
No. I didn't do a plugin.
Yeah.
I didn't go below this repository level. Yeah. This is not in the commerce engine. It's still in the storefront part. Yeah, because what I wanted to do actually was to take the products, connect it with the scans, and take this is the first API, and the second API I just want to take the product data by the product ID. Yeah. And this is the basic function of the commerce. Yeah. So I thought that I don't need any go deeper. Yeah. Actually, I thought that it would be possible in the controllers. Yeah. But I had to go one level down. Okay. So basically, there is nothing too complicated in this code. This part, to be honest, I don't even understand what is it. Yeah, this is just copy and paste from the decompile code from commerce. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the key implementation points here. Yeah, so I have this AR catalog controller, which inherits from. Sorry, I have the AR AR catalog controller, which inherits from this catalog controller, which is something built in the commerce SXA. With some additionals, yeah, like this AR catalog repository, and I return data as JSON. Yeah. And in this AR catalog repository, I inherit from product list repository, which is also something built in the Sitecore in the commerce SXA or CXA. It's called like that. Yeah, and just I add this implementation of taking the AR scans, yeah, this files, yeah. And it was a little bit more work than I expected, because I thought that such functionality like take product details by ID should be pretty easy and should be done at the controller level, but I had to go one level deeper to the repositories level, yeah, to get the proper data. And because in the current implementation, this commerce SXA, it's actually focused on the storefront, so it's focused on returning this data as HTML, yeah, to the views. Actually, as it returns data to the views, and it doesn't return, for example, data as JSON in some cases. Okay. So I think we covered the API. So the next step is the mobile application. So I wrote this mobile application in native Objective-C because this is the only language I know for the iOS. Yeah. So also in this application I had some few repositories: data repository, settings repository, and basically the key implementation point in this application is a view controller, which use the delegate pattern to actually work with the AR. Yeah. So you can
you use some library?
No, this is built into iOS. But I will go to this point. Okay, so yeah, so as I said, I have some product repository and setting repository. Product repository is basically the client for those APIs. Yeah, so if you don't know Objective-C, it looks like this. So it's pretty awesome. And it has these header files and the code files. Yeah, so it's even more awesome. Yeah, so this is one API call to get product by ID. There is get product scans. This is the other API. There is also some API to download the file, so download those scan files. And there is also a setting repository, because I have some settings in this application, like the store URL, like the catalog item ID, and those settings are cached in this application as well. So it doesn't require you to enter them every time. So there is a model of the product, and here there is a key implementation point. So I have my view controller and the delegate, which is called this AR SCN view delegate. Actually, Apple has this nasty habit to use the prefix in the classes. So sometimes the prefixes looks like this. And in this view controller, actually there is this is the most important method. This method is actually called every time this application recognizes a object in the world. So I recognize the object, and here I create this virtual layer with image, with the name of this product, with the price, and so on. So this you don't see it again. Okay. Come on. Maybe with this one, it'll be easier. Let's try again. Oh we have it. It should also be possible, to have two products at once. So I have this one, I have this one, and this is this layer which is added to the word. Okay. And if you don't want to waste your life learning Objective-C, this framework for recognizing with working with augmented realities works also with Swift. This is the new language which Apple use right now, and it's even easier to use Swift because there is much more examples than in the Objective-C. But Objective-C can be migrated to Swift as well. And if you don't want to use any Apple stuff at all, except the mobile, this ARKit works also with Xamarin. There is support for Visual Studio and C#. You can even develop it on the Windows machine, because in Xamarin there is something called Live Player, which allows to debug from Visual Studio on the iPhone. And here are the links to learn about ARKit on the Xamarin and learn about this Live Player. And about the limitation of this. So I started with this, that this technology only recognizes 3D shapes or 2D images. Actually, it doesn't recognize the colors. It connected with the how it works. It just used the camera, and it just check the distance from the camera to the points. Yeah, so this is how the camera actually, how the autofocus works in the camera. Yeah, so they just use this exactly the same stuff. Yeah, but it's, of course, it's much more complicated. Yeah. So as I said, yeah, those reference objects have to be preloaded to the mobile application. There is no out-of-the-box text detection, but you can actually in the iOS there is probably 100 OCR libraries somewhere, yeah, so you can just use them and play with it. Also, some of the objects will work better than the others. Yeah. So for example, when the object is detailed, it has some texture like this objects. It has some shapes. It will work better. The plane and reflective object will work worse because the camera will not be able to recognize the distance, yeah, between the points. Yeah. Also, the lighting conditions are pretty important. So, in best case, you need to create this scan of the object in the similar lighting condition that then it will be used by the users to find this object in the world. Yeah. Yeah, something about the future. So yeah, because it's quite cool, but is it usable in the real life right now? Not not really. Maybe. But yeah, don't worry, because this technology is pretty, I would say, pretty important right now for Apple. So they started with the first version of this AR kit in 2017. So it was able only to recognize 2D images in the world. This AR kit version 2, which I just showed it to you, it's from the last year. It recognized 3D shape. It recognizes 2D image which are moving. Yeah, so it can track these 2D images, and also it can recognize the image with machine learning. Yeah. So you can have the machine learning model inside your phone, and it will recognize, for example, based on the image of the bananas, it can recognize the other bananas. Yeah, the simplest example. Yeah. So you can see that it's pretty, it's evolving every year. Actually, this is this is old slide, yeah, because this is slide from I don't know, March or something like that, or I don't remember when I created this. But Apple already had their developer conference in June, I think, or I don't remember. So they already showed some improvement in this AR kits, but I didn't learn about the details. Yeah, and also we have the future is the 5G network, so we will have the super fast internet, so we will be able to download lot more of data. Yeah, so maybe we will be able to just to have those scans only in the Sitecore and just download them on the fly, or who knows. For example, the scan of this object, it's 1.5 megabyte, yeah, something like that. Okay, and this is my plan for the improvements in this application. So yeah, the first thing is, as I said, to use Commerce Business Tools to connect the scans with the product on the Commerce Business Tool level, not by this fake, I would say fake, this workaround with the product ID. So I have in the Sitecore Media Library, I have the folder with the product ID, and I have the products in the commerce with the same ID, and it connects like that. Yeah. So in the future, I would love to just upload those scans directly to the Sitecore, to the commerce business tools. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that this is it won't be easy. So yeah, I thought that I would need to create some plugins or whatever, but I want to avoid it. But the guys from Belarus told me that it's actually very simple. Yeah, to just use without any extension, just to upload this kind of file to the business tools. Also, I want to combine, for example, recognizing 3D shapes with the 2D images. So yeah, so for example, I could have two objects which has the same shapes, but for example, different colors and some text. Yeah, so for example, the product ID or product name, for example. Yeah, and just to recognize both this name and the shape. Yeah. And also, I wanted to try this machine learning from Apple, and I wanted to use Universal Tracker, but I don't have any use case for this for now. Yeah, so this is something for the future. Yeah, and actually, your first question will be, what about the Android? So I have no idea. Yeah, actually, I have some ideas, but yeah, I'm not the Android guy. And Google actually has its own ARKit framework, which is called, surprisingly, AR Core. And right now, it can only recognize the 2D images in the real world environment. It cannot recognize 3D shapes. But actually, this is also my state of knowledge before their conference, yeah, because they also had a conference this year, so maybe they already have the same like Apple has, yeah, because it's usual like that. But I don't want to start a war. And that's all. Yeah, all the code from this presentation, both for the this product API and the client code for this mobile application, both are available on GitHub. Also, if you want to read about it, you can check my blog. This is the address. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, on my blog, and that's all. Thank you.
All right, any questions?
It was already in presentation with Android.
Yes, no question.
Yeah, and actually, the guys from Belarus asked me about, okay, this. Do you use this technology in some real project? Yeah. So I thought that I told them that yeah, this was done just for fun. Yeah, just I did it on my free time. But one of our customers is interested in this kind of stuff. Yeah? So for example, they have a little bit different use case, yeah, for this. They had amusement park, and for example, they want to put some in this amusement park. They don't want to put actually any QR codes and stuff like that. Yeah, they want to just have the mobile application, and the customers, when they point to some attraction in this amusement park, they will know already what is the price, what is whatever about this. Yeah, so this is the real world example for that, and it actually, yeah, they want to have it. Yeah, so yeah.
Any questions? All right. Thank you, Tomasz.
Yeah, thanks.